Hello my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach and welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video is this cute little Christmas tree washcloth. I had a friend who's putting together some little gift things, soaps and lotions and shampoos and things, and wanted just a cute little washcloth to go with it. And this washcloth measures an 8 by 8, so it's a nice size for a face cloth if you want to give some face products or maybe some makeup or something like that, and you want to add a little extra something to the little gift basket or bag. This is a great little washcloth. It's also great to have around the house for guests. You can always just give it to them as a gift. They can use it while they're there and take it with them. They're also kind of fun just to have around for decorating. And like I said, it's a small washcloth. It just measures 8 by 8. It has this little section here in the middle where we've made a filet stitch Christmas tree and just some fun little stitches, striping it on the edges, and then a really simple chain trim. We wanted to keep it small, 8 by 8, and we also wanted to keep it simple. And I think you're really going to enjoy making this. You know, if you're giving a grandchild a brand new electric toothbrush or something, this is something fun to stick in there with it. All right, so you can find the complete pattern on my blog as always, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make our little Christmas tree washcloth, you only need a small amount of yarn, maybe an ounce of 2 different colors, or you could make it all in one color if you would like to. I just thought it was fun to stripe it. Now this one's done in a bright red and a little bit kind of a limey green. This is a really bright green and this is a really bright pink. And so I thought it would be fun to make something a little more girly, and this one could be a little more, is boily a word? A little more for the boys. But either one is fine. They're both super cute. This is all done in Peaches and Cream cotton yarns. But I picked these up. This is Crafter's Secret cotton. You can use any cotton that's a medium weight number 4 as long as it's 100% cotton. And even some of the cottons that have a little acrylic blend in them will work just fine as well. All right, as long as it's a medium weight number 4 cotton. We're going to stitch today with our H-hook, which is a 5mm. And then you need a pair of scissors and a needle. I'm starting with my color 1, which is the pink. We're going to begin with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 25 chains. I do recommend you chain this beginning chain just a little bit loose because it's the bottom of our washcloth and we don't want it puckering in a little bit. So we're going to chain 25 chains just a little bit loose. I have chained 25 chains just a little bit loose. And so what we're going to do for our first row is we're going to begin by stitching a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in each of our chains, working all the way across our row. One double crochet in each stitch across our row. I have completed row 1. We started in the 4th chain from the hook and stitched 1 double crochet in each of our chains. Now this chain 3 here at the beginning counts as our first, so we have 23 double crochets. Now we're going to bring in our color 2, and we're going to leave our color 1 attached because we'll be bringing it back in. All right, so I brought in my color 2 and I'm going to chain 1. When changing colors at the ends of your rows, make sure you do your chain 1 or chain 3 after your color change. All right, so we're going to turn our work. We'll just move that out of the way. And we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of our double crochets, working in the back loops only. So when you look at the top of your work, you'll see there are loops on the front and loops on the back. So we're going to go right in that first stitch because our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and stitch a single crochet in the back loop only. So we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the back loops only, all the way across our row. Now you'll know that it's correct if you see this little ridge right here. All right, so 1 single crochet in each of the back loops only, all across our row. I have completed row 2, 1 single crochet in each of our double crochets across, working in the back loops only. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And for row 3, we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the stitches. We're not working in the back loops on this row. Just 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets, working all the way across. I have completed row 3. We stitched 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets across. We did not work in the back loops only on this row. And you should have 23 single crochets. Now I did not chain 1 because we're going to change back to our color 1. All right, so I'm going to grab my pink and bring it back in, snug it down a little bit there, and chain 1. All right, so now we'll turn back to the front and we're going to do back loop only again. So we're going to go in that first stitch and stitch a back loop only, and we'll stitch 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets, working in the back loops only. One single crochet in each of the single crochets across, working in the back loops only. We single crocheted in each of the single crochets across, working in the back loops only again. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're just going to repeat what we did down here, and we're going to just stitch regular single crochets, not the back loop onlys. 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets across. I have completed row 5, and now the fun is going to begin because we're going to do that filet section in the center to show our Christmas tree shape. All right, so we're going to grab our green back up and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and so we're going to double crochet in the next 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have a little scratchy throat today. 9 and 10. Now that's going to give us 11 double crochets because our chain 3 counted as our first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to skip the next double crochet and then double crochet in those last 11 stitches. So we have 11 double crochets, chain 1, skip 1, and 11 double crochets. So that equals out to 23 stitches, okay? And that's why it was really important to make sure you have 23 stitches on each of your rows. Now I did cut my pink, and that's because we're doing this large section here of the filet section, and I don't want to carry my pink all the way up there, all right? You can if you want to. It's just a preference. All right, so we chained 3. Looks like I just chained 2. Better get a third chain there. All right, and turn. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And that'll give us 3 double crochets on the end because, again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So now we're going to chain 1, skip the next, and double crochet in the next. And we're going to do this across. And this is forming the base of our tree. I should say our tree shape. All right, then we'll skip the next one and double crochet in those last 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, which is our chain. Our chain 3 there. All right, and then we'll go ahead and chain 3. All right, so what we have for row 7 is 3 double crochets, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chain 1 spaces. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochets there, and then 3 more on the end. And you can see that's the base of our Christmas tree. And then as we do our next rows, we'll do less and less chain 1 spaces in order to form that triangle. So we've chained 3. We're going to turn our work. We're going to double crochet in these next 2. 1 and 2. Then we're going to double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then double crochet in the next double crochet. So that gives us 5 double crochets because, again, our chain 3 counts as our first. And now we're going to chain 1 and double crochet in the next double crochet. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and we'll do that again, and then one more time. And now what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet in that chain 1 space, and then 1 double crochet in those last 3. 1, oops, 2, and 3. And we'll go ahead and chain 3. All right, so for row 8, we have 5 on the beginning and end of our double crochets, and then we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our chain 1 spaces. All right, let's do row 9. So we're going to double crochet in those next 4. Because remember, that chain 3 at the beginning counts as our first double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then double crochet in the double crochet. And so now that's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets at the beginning. And we'll have 7 at the end as well, because we'll do 1 less, double crochet, chain 1, at the end of our row. So I told you this works up super quick and it's super fun to do. And if you've never done any sort of a filet pattern, this is a great pattern to practice with because it's very simple and it's also really cute. Alrighty, there we go. So here's my last chain one space. So we're going to double crochet in there and then double crochet in those last 5 stitches. And chain 3. All right, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the beginning and end of our rows, and we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 1 spaces. And don't forget to chain 3. All right, let's do row 10. So we'll double crochet in the next 6 stitches. Whoops. There we go. So we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because remember, chain 3 counts as our first. Now we'll double crochet in the chain 1 space and then double crochet in the next double crochet. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so chain 1 and double crochet. In the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet in the next double crochet. So now instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're only going to have 1, 2, 3. All right, because we're going to double crochet in the chain 1 space and then double crochet in each of those double crochets working across. There we go. Don't forget that chain 3 at the end. I always have trouble getting my hook in there. I need to maybe not make my chain 3 so tight. All right, chain 3. All right, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 chain 1 spaces and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochets. And so now what we're going to do is basically do the same thing that we did here. Chain 3 and turn. Double crochet in the next 10, which will give us 11 because again our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. All right, so now we're going to go in that chain 1 space and stitch a double crochet, then double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then double crochet in that chain 1 space, and then double crochet the rest of the way across. And so this row here, this is row 11, will look just like this row here, with just 1 chain 1 space. Wasn't that fun? I think it was fun to do this simple filet work in the middle of this washcloth. Like I said, if you've never done any work like this before, this is a great place to practice that and learn that. All right, so now we're going to bring our pink back in, or our color 1. We're going to leave our green attached. We're going to chain 1 and turn. All right, let's get that green out of the way there. And now we're going to do what we did down here. We're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those back loops only, working all the way across our row. One single crochet in each of the back loops only, working all the way across our row. And I want to show you on that chain 1, you can still work in the back loop and have it look really nice. Okay, all the way across. So we stitched across, stitching 1 single crochet in the back loops only. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we're just going to stitch a single crochet in each of those stitches across. On this row, we're not working in the back loops. We're just stitching single crochets across. So I stitched across 1 single crochet in each single crochet across, just like we did down here. And now we're going to bring the green back in and repeat that. Leave your pink attached because we're going to bring it back in. All right, so for this row, we're going to stitch in the back loops only, just like we did at the bottom of our washcloth, because we want to have the 2 pink rows and then the 2 green rows that look similar on the top of our washcloth as it does on the bottom edge of our washcloth. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a row of back loops only across. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and then just do a row of regular single crochets in our green color. That way it will look like the bottom of our washcloth. All right, so we're doing a row of back loop only, chain 1, turn, and then a regular row of single crochet. So I have completed the row of single crochets working in the back loops only, chain 1 and turn, and then single crochet across. I went ahead and cut my yarn. We're done with our green, and I'm going to bring back in my color 1, which is a pink, and chain 3. And what we're going to do for this row, this is row 16, we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the stitches across. And this will help it look similar to what we did down here, because we did start with a double crochet row, and so we're going to end with a double crochet row up here. It's not exactly the same, but it is similar. Alrighty, so I'm just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of those single crochets across. I completed this row of double crochets across. We have 23 double crochets. And then I went ahead and took a few minutes and weaved in all my ends. Now we have some places here where we carried the yarn, and we'll stitch over that on this row because we're going to put an even row of single crochet all the way around all 4 sides. All right, so I'm going to chain 1, and right here in this first corner, we'll start with our single crochets. And the best way to get a good look on your evenly single crochets is try to stitch in the end of the stitch and not in the holes. Okay, it's a little easier on the single crochet rows, but when we do the double crochet rows, there's a little bit more space there, like right here. So you want to try to go in the sides of the stitches and not the holes themselves. And it will also help close up some of those little hole spots. There is not a set amount of single crochets that you need. You just want it to look even and pretty. If they're too close together and they bunch up, it doesn't look pretty. If they're too far apart, then it looks gapey. So you just have to watch it as you go and just do the best you can. When you get to the corners, we're going to do a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the corners. Okay, and I'm working down to this corner because I want to show you how to do that. It makes a nice curve around the corner without making it too bunchy. Sometimes I'll use 3 single crochets. It just depends on the project, because if you put 3 in there, sometimes it can be a little thick, and we don't want that on this smaller washcloth. All right, so I've worked my way down. Here's the corner. So I'm going to stitch a single crochet. I'm going to chain one and turn, but in that same stitch, I'm working another single crochet. And then we'll just work across the bottom in those stitches. And it gives it just a nice curve around. All right, so what we're doing is we're stitching one single crochet evenly all the way around. Down here we have stitches to work in the top we will, but on the sides we won't. And when you go over these edges where we carried the yarn, make sure you stitch over those single crochets. I have evenly single crocheted around all four sides of my washcloth, placing single crochet, chain one, single crochet in the four corners. And then I joined to my first single crochet. I cut my yarn because I decided I wanted my last row in the green. You can do it solid like we did this one, or you can change to color too. It's up to you, or you can even bring in a different color if you want to. All right, so I'm going to bring in my green again. I'm going to chain three. We're going to skip the next stitch and slip stitch in the next. And chain three, skip the next, slip stitch in the next. 1, 2, 3, skip the next, slip stitch in the next. And this is the way this fun little trim works. And I really like it just to add a little extra fun to the washcloth. I think it gives it a little bit more of a Christmassy appeal to it. But the truth is, if you don't want to add this lacy edge, you don't have to. Maybe you think it's too feminine or something. That's totally up to you. I love this extra little ruffle or lacy look around the edge. All right, so I'm just going to work all the way around my washcloth. Chain three, skip one, slip stitch in the next, all the way around. Then our washcloth will be all finished and ready to give as a gift or use for decorations. So I've stitched that trim all the way around, and I just love it changing colors. I'm going to go ahead and cut my green yarn, join to that first stitch there with a slip stitch. All right, and so I do have two more ends, actually three because I changed colors. So here is the green and red one, and here's one, this green's a little bit lighter, and we have like a bright pink, and you can see you get a different look just by changing that outside trim. All right, so that's our little Christmas tree washcloth.